Michaels, the craft community has spoken. If you guys go back and watch my last video, I think it got like 2,800 views, which is not a lot, but there were 77 comments. Some of that was me replying, but there were so many of you that you were like, Michaels has been an issue for a while. I don't know how they're going to keep this business model going. And I just wanted to put this out there that some of the main issues that people had was, one, there was too much space being taken up by like cheap decorations that are going to get thrown away after a season because they're going to break. Two, the crafts you have, they're not expansive. It's like either the most basic of materials or like professional grade stuff. There's no range in what you're offering. And three, like, you should not have to pay $49 to get free shipping. Bring back in-store coupons and stop trying to be Home Goods and TJ Maxx. It's not working for you. You just had one of your main competitors drop, and now is the time to actually really fill that craft niche. It's not a dying thing. It's thriving right now. So Michaels, you need to get your shit together. Thank you.
Let's talk about Michaels and their knit and sew shop. I am a longtime JoAnn's fan. I remember going to JoAnn Fabrics as a child with my grandmother, looking at all the fabrics and watching her pour through pattern books to find out what she wanted to make for me next. Yes, my grandmother would make me clothes. And believe it or not, I get teased about it in high school because it was the 80s. And if you did not have Lee jeans or Levi's or Gloria Vanderbilt or Jordache, you were not cool enough. So I specifically went to TikTok to try to find videos of people that have given Michaels a chance. And as you see from the first video, it's not good. So let's continue on and see what else is going on.
Michaels, I am disappointed in you, like, deeply and truly. And instead, I'll show a video of it here. They literally, it looks like they just stuck a little sign up between two aisles, called it a knit and sew shop, set up a very small fabric cutting table, and that was it. Like, what? That's, I don't know how you're gonna slap JoAnn's name onto that and then give us literally nothing.
So let's watch this one, and where do you hear this fiasco?
But I can tell you right now, the fabric people, like, we're not impressed. I haven't been physically into my store for a while now, but I know that our fabric selection was like the tiniest little end cap humanly possible. People are getting their orders canceled, randomly, like half-filled portions. So like when you put an order in, it doesn't just like go to a warehouse. Like it goes to a physical store and they fill whatever it is that they have. So if they have a portion of your order and they don't have the rest of it, your entire order isn't going to be filled. Another problem that people keep running into, and what I ran into when I ordered fabric from them, is that it wasn't cut into one continuous piece. It was cut into several pieces. So if you're making a really big project and you need 7-yard piece of fabric and they just don't have it at that store, it's going to be, first of all, choppy, and they're just going to cut what they have and cut it however they want and throw it in a box and send it your way. Employees like straight up said that we are not trying to be a fabric store, which I don't understand, because the US fabric sewing industry is a huge booming industry. Just for the US alone, it's worth over $5 billion.
Okay. I have an example of this. So wait till you hear this one now.
Hey friends, let's talk about Michaels and how they have no idea how to sell fabric. Buyer beware. So I just placed my first order from Michaels for fabric for shipping last week, about 5 days ago. And I placed an order for 4 items. multiple yards per item. I placed an order for, I believe it was 6 yards of an Alice in Wonderland cotton print, as well as 7 yards of a lavender cotton, 3 yards of black cotton, and 4 yards of white cotton. The black, white, and lavender were all just like really basic cheap cotton. And within about a day or two, I got a shipping notification. And the shipping notification said that all of the Alice in Wonderland fabric had shipped, great, and that 4 yards of the 7 yards of the lavender cotton had shipped. So I called up Michael's and talked to someone and explained that I needed it uncut. I needed the whole thing. And he said, okay, no problem. I'll put that in the notes. They'll reship it. And I thought everything was hunky-dory. I only spent a few minutes talking to him. Cut to a few days later, yesterday, when I received another notification, having not received anything in between. I received another notification that the black cotton was canceled because they didn't have it. This is 4 days after placing my order. They discovered that they did not have it. So I called up Michael's again, and I spoke to someone else who said, oh yeah, that's canceled. And then also the white is canceled and the lavender, the rest of the lavender is also canceled. No notifications about this, like log in and look at the order status. It doesn't show those others. It only shows the black being canceled.
So there you go. They're canceling orders because they can't fill orders. So this is for a quilter. And I don't know much about quilting, but I do know that when you are quilting, you need the fabric in one piece. Most likely using it for backing, I'm going to guess. So if you're a quilter, let me know, but I'm pretty sure it's to be used for the backing of the quilt. And they need it, they can't have it in chunks, because then you're going to have extra seams and it's just not going to look nice. It's not going to look professional. So other things that I have heard is that the employees do not want to cut the fabric. They don't know how to cut the fabric. Another video that I saw, which is the person that I just showed you, she got her white fabric and it was cut at an angle.
I purchased 8 yards of Kona cotton. It has just arrived all in one piece. I know, right? But it's not 8 yards. It's close, but it's not 8 yards. Depending on which side I measure it on, it has ranged between 7 yards and 32 inches and 7 yards and 34 inches. And that is because of things like this. Yes, that is a 2-inch difference over here versus over here.
I don't think they were ready for this. I really don't. I mean, I know other people have said they were told to take it to the framing area because they have a table big enough. The framing area doesn't want to do it because that's not their job. They don't even have like a legit cutting table. It is literally a folding table with a cutting mat on it. And I have a video of that as well. So check this one out. So it looks like this lady was trying to cut her own fabric, trying to figure it out because nobody was around.
Trust me, I've already told them. The sign. No, we don't need a sign. People are going to ask. Okay. That's a big light. Yeah. They don't usually like to listen. No.
So yeah, there's that one. This one's pretty crazy.
Anyone bought fabric at their local Michael's yet? Because I have, and it was a painful experience. It is in no way the employee's fault with how Michael's has organized their fabric section and the cutting system. I just hope it gets better in the future, because let me explain what mine was. I've seen other videos where other creators go to Michael's, pick out the fabric in the fabric section, and then go to the framing table to get their fabric cut, but mine was not like that at all. I was told I have to take my fabric up to the front to a cutting table. and get it cut first. It's like, okay, so I got in line and did that. And then they told me, oh no, you need to wait in line of the checkout line to get your fabric cut at the checkout line table. There was already somebody in line getting their fabric cut, and we were waiting in line with the rest of the people to check out with just regular items. And something happened where they couldn't ring up this person's fabric, so we had to stand in line and wait for other people to walk past us the whole time so they can just check out while we waited to get our fabric cut. And it took a pretty long time. And when we finally got to the checkout table to get our fabric cut, the person whipped out a Fiskars like cutting thing, the little blade, and ran the fabric through there like it was paper, and it didn't fully cut all the way through, so they had to whip out a plain pair of scissors and cut the fabric the rest of the way. And the little table they were using, I know, is for framing, and it's so tiny, like they don't have anything proper to cut fabric. And I really feel bad for the Michaels employees because it's not their fault, but I really miss JoAnn's fabric.
Wow. Using a paper cutter to cut fabric? Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. I'm glad I haven't been in a Michaels, because I would have a really hard time not saying something. I did see in the comments on a lot of these videos, and the creators are tagging Michaels, basically letting Michaels know that they need to get it together. They need to get it together, for sure. Okay, you get it. I don't think we need to see anymore. It's bad. It's just bad. So where are we sourcing fabric? Okay, so a few places where I am sourcing fabric personally is at estate sales. How do I find estate sales, you ask? Well, I'm glad that you asked. First of all, I have a video that I posted on how to find estate sales and what you need to do to prepare before you go to an estate sale and what to expect. You can also go through some of my estate sale videos on my playlist and watch some estate sales so you can see when I have sourced items. It could be clothing, it could be sewing and craft items, it could be fabric. I do have some fabric that I have sourced from an estate sale. There is also a video where I acquired about 10, 12-ish bins of secondhand fabric that was left over after an estate sale. So I have 2 videos for that as well. So you can go watch those. Pretty much all of the fabric that I acquired, I picked out kind of like a little bit of what I wanted to use. All of that fabric is available for sale. I do need to do a video displaying that fabric because I do not have a website yet. And I will say a lot of it is polyester. Some of it is prints, and many of them are still brand new, uncut pieces of 2 to 3 yards. So I have everything measured, bagged, and tagged. So pretty much all of it except maybe 1 bin is ready to go. So in order to find estate sales, you are going to go to estatesales.net. You will create a free account with an email, and every week, and you put in your zip code. And then give the radius of how far that you want to travel. And you can always change that radius whenever you want to. Every week, you will get an email telling you what estate sales are near you. When you find out what the companies are, a lot of times you can find them on Instagram and or Facebook and or TikTok. So you just kind of have to do some social media checking. One that I go to that has a lot of estate sales in my area is called Sales by Holly in Columbus, Ohio. Their estate sales are great. I have acquired a lot of craft and fabric items from those estate sales. You can see the pictures before you go, so you know what they have. So 9 times out of 10, if you see a sewing machine, there's most likely going to be other sewing notions and fabric at that estate sale. So it's always worth checking out. Another source that I have heard of, there is another YouTuber on here that I follow. Her name is Stephanie Canada, and she about a year ago she acquired a huge amount of vintage fabric. The lady had some kind of a boutique where she made dresses. I can't remember. There's a video about it. She closed the doors in like the mid 1980s and never opened again. And it was literally an entire storage building, not like a storage locker, but like it was a building on her property where all of the fabric was stored, filing cabinets full of vintage patterns, notions, zippers. Like, it's insane. They had to bring it back in a U-Haul trailer or a U-Haul truck. The YouTuber's name is Stephanie Canada, and her website is backroomfinds.com. So you can go there and find fabric there, and I believe every once in a while she has a sale, but she does do videos. So you can go watch her videos of sewing. You can go find the videos of how she acquired all this material from the estate sale, and you can purchase from her. Another way to source fabric on Instagram, there is an account called are you ready for this? You're gonna love it. JoAnn's Fabrics. And that is just as it sounds, JoAnn's Fabrics. I have talked with this lady through DM, and she is a delightful, very friendly lady. She has a few personal things going on right now, so she has not been posting a whole lot of content like she used to. But they do have a website, so you can go to their website, browse their fabrics. She gives a great description. It's very cute and entertaining, and very creative. So I highly recommend sourcing from her as well. And then me personally, outside of estate sales, I have been sourcing at thrift stores. Hey, fabric is fabric, right? Whether it is already made into something else, or if it is a bed sheet, a blanket, a quilt, a dress, a skirt, anything is fabric. Everything will work. I just want to show you how much material I got out of this skirt. I haven't measured it yet, but I ripped it all out instead of cutting it. So yeah, 2.5 yards. And I also have this small piece that was from the waistband. I have a zipper that can be reused. And then I have this small piece of waistband. And I saw a really cool thing on Pinterest. You add embellishments and it makes a little necklace. So for $3.50, I have 2.5 yards of fabric on the slim side. I have an extra piece for patchwork. I have a zipper, and I have something that I could possibly make into a cool little necklace. So I do acquire fabric that way. I was recently thrifting in Tempe, and I found a roll of 2 rolls of upholstery material that I grabbed and put in my suitcase to come home. Come on. I grabbed in my suitcase to come home. He's my little dog, wanted to come up on my lap. He's our little pupper dog. Aw, thank you, baby. Thank you, sweetie dog. And I ended up taking it off of the roll, folding it up, and I knew that I had room in my suitcase. So I did put it in my suitcase. And you can see that video. That is Thrifting in Tempe, Part 1. Then I brought it home, and I did use those 2 fabrics as I intended to make a purse. And that is also another video. In that same store, I also found 2 yards of vintage fabric. I may sell it, I may use it, I'm not sure. Another source is Facebook Marketplace. Every once in a while, I will browse Facebook Marketplace just to see what has been listed. If you go in and search fabric, there are, at least in my area, there are a lot of people that are selling like the large professional sized rolls of fabric. Very cheap, like $25 a roll or something like that. So that is another source where you can source some fabric. I follow a lot of TikTokers that utilize quilts and make them into quilt coats, quilted pants, things like that, with a very simple, easy to sew pattern. So I hope this gives you some ideas. It's a matter of just using your imagination. Quilt shops, that's another source. Google local quilt shops in your area, even if you're not a quilter, but quilt shops mostly carry cotton. Most people prefer to use cotton and not necessarily like a cotton poly blend. To me, again, for upcycling, to me, fabric is fabric. It doesn't matter. I will use a tablecloth if I like the pattern on it. I will use curtains. I did a skirt. I made a skirt where I used a jumpsuit, a dress, and a piece from a curtain. Also, check in your area. There are a new thing that has been popping up across the country are craft reuse stores. A lot of them have fabric. May not be big pieces, but if you just need small pieces here and there, you'll be able to find fabric at craft reuse stores. If your area happens to have a Goodwill bin store, that is the last ditch effort for these items before they get baled and either sent to a landfill or sent to another country or sent to be made into rags or, you know, whatever it is that they do. I will source damaged leather and furs to repurpose those. I will take the linings out, I'll cut them up. So that's where I get a lot of my leather and fur that I use. And I believe that by repurposing leather and fur, I know a lot of people are against it, but I would rather reuse it and give that fur or leather from that animal a second life or a second purpose. I have found tapestries and blankets and quilts and crochet blankets at the Goodwill bins. So you just got to get a little creative and think outside of the box. Are you looking for buttons? I recently saw a Facebook post where a lady had bins and bins and bins full of packages of buttons. I think I may go buy some, see if I can resell them, because I've seen some TikTokers that are looking for buttons. At this moment, I am really focusing on my YouTube channel, doing tutorials and working to get monetized, and I'm so close. So I am focusing on that and not really trying to list and sell anything at this moment. Now, I know some of you that might be watching might live in a small town area and your options are limited. I get that. We're not all in an abundant area like me. Like, I'm in downtown Columbus, and Columbus is number 3 in the country as far as fashion. So yes, we have a lot of options here. We have a lot of thrift stores. I have a bin store near me. We have a lot of designers. A lot of them actually go to New York to get their fabrics. A lot of the higher end ones that end up at like Columbus Fashion Week show. So I know they are traveling to get their fabric. And I know it's hard to order online because you want to feel the fabric. I get that. But a lot of people, at least the ones that I recommended, like Stephanie Canada and JoAnn Fabrics, they know, they are very good at describing what the fabric is, or they know what the fabric is. and they can give you a good description. And if you have any questions, I know that either one of them would be happy to answer any questions via email or messenger. So Not JoAnn's is found on Instagram. Stephanie Canada is found here on YouTube, as well as TikTok and Instagram. So I'm sure that if you contact her or comment on one of her posts or go into her bio, you can find an email or something that you can contact those people if you have any other questions about anything. I believe Not JoAnn's website or Stephanie's Backroom Finds website would also have some way to contact them if you had any questions. Trust me, they are both small businesses and you will get the best customer service that they can possibly give you. Okay, on that note, I really don't know what else to say. I just needed to kind of get this off my chest. It's just been so crazy out there. I know we are all struggling. We're all having to think outside of the box and get creative to find ways to source fabric. It depends on what you do. As an upcycler, I don't need 7 yards of the same fabric. So small pieces work for me. So tell me in the comments, what is it that you do and what purpose do you need fabric for? Are you making small things? Are you making large quilts? Are you making outfits? Are you looking for vintage fabric? Are you looking for fun and crazy prints? Are you looking for solids? Are you looking for a mixture? Have you had an experience trying to find fabric, good or bad? Have you been to Michael's yet? How was your experience at your Michael's? Because as I'm saying on TikTok, everybody's experience tends to be slightly different. Just a couple last minute things that I thought of. eBay, I know there's fabric on eBay. I have a few listed myself. I just haven't been able to list it all because it's a lot. Etsy, although be careful on Etsy. Some places aren't very trustworthy. Some Etsy shops may not be a small business, so double check into the Etsy shop that you are looking at. Make sure that it is a small business and not a drop shipping type business. Some of them can't be trusted. I'm not a fan of Etsy. I've heard too many not so nice things, but that's another discussion for another time, possibly. If you know, you know. Okay, like I said, this was just something that I wanted to get off my chest. I wanted to discuss and just kind of like put out there and see what you guys think. So until next time, love, peace, and thrift, and we'll catch you on the flip side.